Stay tuned as we delve into the realms of the past and walk in the footsteps of the greats and present-day geniuses. Let's begin with today's great mind. The legacy of Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn, courage in the face of tyranny. What if the most powerful weapon against oppression wasn't force, but the written word? For Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn, a Soviet dissident and Nobel laureate, truth was the ultimate weapon against tyranny. Through his novels and essays, Solzhenitsyn exposed the horrors of the Soviet gulags, challenging an empire built on lies and fear. From surviving the labor camps to winning the Nobel Prize for Literature, his courage and uncompromising voice continue to inspire the fight for freedom and human dignity. In this video, we explore his early life, literary masterpieces, core philosophies, and the legacy of a man who proved that one word of truth shall outweigh the whole world. This is the story of Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn. Chapter 1. Early Life and the Roots of Dissent. Aleksandr Isaievich Solzhenitsyn was born on December 11, 1918, in Kislovodsk, Russia, to a Cossack family impoverished by the Russian Revolution. Raised by his mother after his father's death, young Solzhenitsyn showed an early passion for literature and history. He studied mathematics and physics at Rostov State University, but his heart remained with writing. As World War II erupted, Solzhenitsyn joined the Soviet army, serving as an artillery officer and earning commendations for bravery. However, his growing disillusionment with Stalin's regime led him to express his criticisms privately in letters to a friend. In 1945, these letters were intercepted, and Solzhenitsyn was arrested by Soviet authorities for anti-Soviet propaganda. Sentenced to 8 years in a labor camp, he was plunged into the darkness of the Gulag system, a darkness that would later define his life's work. Chapter 2. Surviving the Gulag, a testament to the human spirit. For 8 brutal years, Solzhenitsyn was held in a series of labor camps and special prisons, enduring starvation, forced labor, and the psychological terror of Stalin's Gulag system. Yet, amid the oppression, he discovered a profound spiritual awakening. Stripped of freedom, comfort, and dignity, he found strength in faith and the conviction that suffering could serve a higher purpose. Secretly writing in tiny handwriting on scraps of paper, he risked execution to preserve the truth of what he witnessed. Released in 1953 and exiled to Kazakhstan, Solzhenitsyn was diagnosed with cancer, a death sentence in itself. But once again, he defied the odds, surviving both the cancer and the Gulag. It was during this period of isolation that Solzhenitsyn wrote One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich, a novella that would bring the horrors of the Gulag to the world's attention. Chapter 3. One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich, Exposing the Truth. Published in 1962 with the approval of Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev, One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich was a seismic event in Soviet literature. The novella depicted a single day in the life of an ordinary Gulag inmate, capturing the brutality, despair, and small acts of defiance that defined camp life. Key themes included: 1. Dignity in suffering, finding meaning and humanity even in the harshest conditions. 2. The banality of evil, exposing the petty bureaucrats and informants who perpetuated the Gulag system. 3. Moral resistance, emphasizing the power of integrity and faith against totalitarianism. The novella was a sensation, selling millions of copies and igniting a national conversation about the Gulag system. For a brief moment, it seemed as if Soviet censorship might relax. But as Solzhenitsyn's fame grew, so did the regime's hostility. By 1965, his works were banned, and KGB agents began harassing him and confiscating his manuscripts. Chapter 4. The Gulag Archipelago, a masterpiece of resistance. Undeterred by censorship, Solzhenitsyn began work on his magnum opus, The Gulag Archipelago, a monumental 3-volume exposé of the Soviet forced labor system. Written in secret and smuggled out of the Soviet Union, the book was published in the West in 1973, causing an international sensation. Drawing on hundreds of eyewitness accounts and his own experiences, Solzhenitsyn chronicled the arrest, interrogation, transportation, and enslavement of millions. His purpose was clear: to ensure that the victims of the Gulag would not be forgotten and to expose the moral bankruptcy of the Soviet regime. Key themes included: 1. The nature of evil, arguing that the line between good and evil runs through every human heart. 2. Moral responsibility, emphasizing the duty to resist tyranny, even at great personal cost. 3. Truth as liberation, asserting that only by confronting historical truth could Russia redeem itself. The book's impact was immediate and profound, leading to Solzhenitsyn's arrest, the confiscation of his manuscripts, and eventual exile from the Soviet Union in 1974. Chapter 5. Exile and Nobel Prize. In 1970, Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for his ethical force in opposing the lies of totalitarianism. Fearing that he would not be allowed to return, he declined to attend the ceremony. 4 years later, stripped of his citizenship, he was exiled to West Germany, eventually settling in Vermont, USA. From exile, Solzhenitsyn continued to write and criticize both Western materialism and Soviet totalitarianism. He warned that a loss of spiritual values would lead to a collapse of civilization, messages that resonated even after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. In 1994, Solzhenitsyn returned to Russia, welcomed as a national hero. Despite deteriorating health, he remained a powerful voice for moral and spiritual renewal until his death in 2008. Chapter 6. Legacy and Death. Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn passed away on August 3, 2008, at the age of 89, leaving behind a legacy of courage, faith, and unflinching dedication to the truth. His works have been translated into over 40 languages, ensuring that the horrors of the Gulag and the resilience of the human spirit are never forgotten. Through books like Cancer Ward, The First Circle, Solzhenitsyn exposed not only the crimes of the Soviet regime, but the universal struggle between good and evil within every human heart. Chapter 7. Timeless Quotes to Live By. To conclude, here are some of Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn's most powerful quotes that continue to inspire millions. The battle line between good and evil runs through the heart of every man. Own only what you can always carry with you. No languages, no countries, no people. Let your memory be your travel bag. One word of truth shall outweigh the whole world. These words remind us that truth and moral courage are the greatest weapons against tyranny. Thanks for watching. If you found Aleksandr Solzhenitsyn's story inspiring, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the lives of history's greatest defenders of freedom. Until next time, remember, truth is power.